safe.
We'll do a little warm up.
There we are.
What letter are we on tonight?
Oh, I've got something special. Since we're now doing this little live thing, I thought it'd be a fitting way to kind of put an end to this big grandiose Chris's intro, and then we'll just have a basic intro since this is.
But we never got to Z.
Oh, we shall see.
Oh, Amber, by the way, because I've talked about it on Knights of the Rogue Republic before, but you've never actually seen it. This is my Ashley Taylor.
I have that on a t-shirt.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
Of course you do. It's one of my favorites. And meeting
awesome.
both of the Ashleys, I like that they meet together. Was so cute.
Are you trying to come on again, David?
Oh, we can't hear you, David.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
studying on my tablet. I'm jumping on the other one.
Oh,
Okay,
gotcha.
Here, we're going to have double David. Whoa.
Whoa.
Double David.
Whoa.
Double D.
Big on.
I'm leaving. Serious? Why is it still?
Well, that's just
Leave.
awful.
Excuse you.
All right.
Wow.
Welcome to anyone who's watching so far. I don't know who's on there.
So now that everybody's
Says we got a
awake.
few. They're like, what the heck was that? We got a few people on. We're going to get started here in a second, working out technical difficulties to the new Dcast Live. What did you call it on our group? The Dcast Assemble. I absolutely love that, actually.
That's right. Dcast is simple. How's my microphone?
Oh, dude, you sound good now.
There he is.
Better?
Move
Okay.
your camera over. Move your camera over a little bit.
A little bit.
Now, how are we able to see how many people are watching, or if anyone wants to chime in?
If someone comments, I can actually throw a comment up here. There's 7 people watching right now. You guys don't see that in your corner?
No.
No, I
In the
must have that
corner.
because I'm.
Well,
I'm
hi,
the-
7 people.
Yeah.
You're the
So now
moderator.
we're up to
lovely.
10. We're up to 10.
Hello. Oh, well, I'm sharing it. I'm sharing it on Facebook right now. You guys should
Oh my gosh.
share your feed.
I also just shared
Got
it.
it.
I'm about
Look it
to
up.
share it too.
We're about to share this live experience.
Yep. That's right.
Share it. Well, I'm sharing it.
show.
I'm sharing it on Facebook
My mic
right
like
now.
The Rock.
You guys should share your feed.
I also just shared it.
What
There
happened?
we go.
Somebody
there
we
needs
are
to
on
mute
it.
their Facebook.
This is Disneyland.
Sorry.
Boom.
Throwing The Rock. Oh, David's now sharing.
Yep.
Oh, he's doing a watch party even. How fancy of you.
Ooh.
That was
That's-
done on purpose. Yeah.
That's why you're a
'Cause
tech
I'm awesome that
guy.
way. Sure. That's exactly why I did that. I didn't accidentally hit a button.
All right, y'all have the rundown. Y'all have the rundown.
Yep.
Got the rundown.
Mr. Brown, are you ready?
I am ready, willing, and or able.
Whoa.
Here we go. Let's do your new fantastic opening. Ready?
Well, it's kind of the end of an era, but yeah.
All right.
So we're ready
There you
in
are.
3, 2, 1. Good evening, Dcasters. You're seeing the face behind the dulcet tones, and you're here with the podcast that covers all things Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars related. A podcast is the official podcast of the DisInsider.com. A podcast that is here to embrace change. My name is Chris, and I'm joined as always by a tremendous, uplifting, vital, wonderful, zennial, youthful, zany, Zippo, young at heart, X Factor, full of wholesome, valuable, unselfish, thriving co-hosts, Amber, Sean,
Wow.
David,
Oh, crap.
and of course, Brooke. And there you have it, guys, from T to
All
Z. We cover everything.
Oh, there we are.
Cast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right on.
Epic.
Yeah.
That's
Man.
good stuff.
So
Welcome,
there-
everybody.
I'm trying to get the angle right on my camera. There we go.
It's always so hard to get those right angles, or those correct angles.
Yeah.
Just leaning in on
So whoever's watching, I hope you guys are having a good night so far.
Yeah. So, how's everybody doing today? Amber, how you doing? Hello? Amber, how you
Amber.
doing?
Can she hear?
I don't think she
Amber.
can hear us.
Amber.
Amber.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm having technical difficulties. My screen was freezing up, so I was quickly closing windows and trying to figure out what was going on.
Gotcha.
Good.
I was like, Amber, how you doing? And then it was just smiles.
Yeah, I was frozen.
Awesome. Brooke, how you doing?
I'm doing way better now. I am out of my finals. I have all of my school things taken care of. And today I hear my voice reverberating back. Does anyone have their recording with the volume?
Not me.
Not me.
Sean?
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here.
Okay. Well, I've been working on my mouse ears. I ordered some Mickey ears, and I took off the emblem, which, by the way, they're just iron-on. So if you ever want to take off the patch, you can. And look at this inside.
Ooh.
Ooh,
They
nice.
started putting a
Fancy.
lining in these hats. So I'm customizing my own pair of ears, and I'll share those updates as I have them.
Cool.
Right on.
So my wife commented and said that headband though. So
Yes.
Oh,
That is a nice-
yeah.
Oh, yes. Look at that headband.
look
Knitted
at
with
that.
love.
So
That is
Yeah.
nice.
David, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just enjoying quarantine. So I
Nice.
really need to get my camera needs to get better and stuff. This is really fuzzy. So, but it's all
I
right.
hope that,
I'll just
I
make
hope that was sarcasm
what?
about enjoying quarantine. I hope that was sarcasm.
Oh, of course it's sarcasm. Yeah, you gotta tell the people what they need to hear to make them feel better. Yeah, quarantine is absolute abysmal. I don't wish this on anybody.
Yeah.
I get it. Sean, how you
But
doing?
no, go ahead.
David, sorry.
No, go ahead,
Nope,
David.
nope,
How are you?
you're
bud?
good.
No, you're fine. Keep talking.
Well, I'm glad we get to see your lovely face.
As you can tell, this is our first intro into video and stuff. So, so we'll work out the kinks.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, you're up.
Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I mowed the lawn today. I cleaned out the gutters. I am not quarantined, so I sometimes I wish I was, but I have to work, so it is what it is. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just if you guys are wondering about the new live stream here, what we're doing, just to let you guys know, is that we are no longer going to have the Dcast podcast actually come out on Thursday mornings. It's actually we're going to do a live stream where we actually will talk about all the other episodes, all of our other shows that are coming out, have some discussion about a few topics, and kind of make it a little bit different to promote the other shows that we have part of the network. Andy's not with us tonight. I know he's been hiking all day with his son, so we miss you, Andy. Megan, we miss you. Tim, we miss you. So I'm doing all right. Chris, how are you doing, sir?
Not too terrible. My cousin just drove in from Louisiana. So
Cool.
I hadn't seen him in a long time, him and his girlfriend. And so they're moving out to the West Coast. So they came and visited for a little bit. So that was super nice. So yeah, I like this new feed we're doing, the way that we're going about things. Like Sean said, we are, the Dcast is itself, all the shows are springing out of it, but with the news as it is and everything kind of to standstills, it's kind of redundant to talk about stuff that we already have shows that are going to talk about stuff. When things pick up, maybe the format will change back a little bit because Pixar does have Soul coming out, which looks. Oh, there I am.
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
And so
Okay.
no. I actually, there's that Dulce guy right there. And so, so we've got this format, and this will be a little 30 minutes or so, and we'll just talk about stuff, give you rundowns on where you can go, and then if you guys are looking for Marvel stuff, if you guys are looking for Star Wars stuff, you can. Oh, there I am again. Super.
Those dulcet tones.
Yeah. So
let's be honest, we haven't seen each other for 3 months, so it's kind of nice to actually see all your faces.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been recording with nothing. So, Andy says he's just now eating dinner. So enjoy your dinner, Andy.
That's right.
I'm having a little liquid dinner. So, but let's see a little rundown. What are we going to talk about today? We've got some Disney Insider news. We have some casting information resuming for Miss Marvel. Unfortunately, Star Wars Celebration info. And then seems to me that Barbara Streisand worked really hard to get back into some good graces with a gift herself. And then we'll talk about some Disney Plus stuff, and then what's going on with our Dcast podcast networks. We have a couple of big interviews coming up, and we'll talk a little bit about those too. So I guess first on the menu, some DisInsider.com news. Casting resuming for Miss Marvel.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Miss Marvel is Kamala Khan. That's the one that they're talking about. She's young. She's a teenager in the comics. She's an Inhuman. She's an Avenger. So that brings two worlds there together. She is similar powers to Reed Richards, where she can stretch and form her body into different shapes. She uses it differently than Mr. Fantastic does. She forms giant fists. She's very, very socially active, socially aware, runs like websites devoted to heroes. She's a very current superhero. And she's very woke, I guess would be the proper term for her.
She's Pakistani American, isn't she?
And she's also
she is.
Ooh, cool.
There's a couple. Saber's another one. But this is the first real, I guess, Pakistani hero that they brought into such a big form. I mean, she's got her own solo series, which people seem to really, really love. It's one of the bigger sellers out, and it's a big role. It's a big meaty role for a young actress to claim. I don't know how young they're going to go with her, but this is pretty big news that they've resumed casting, because they're actively trying to pursue this series. So good news.
By Zoom, it sounded like. So they're doing it remotely still.
Remotely.
Yeah. So it'll probably be like this.
Yeah.
Good for them for still wanting to distance, and even I feel like that would increase their radar for who they can be able to cast in this.
Sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's probably a good sign that more Disney Plus series are kind of thinking about ramping back up and what that looks like right now, and adapting to still be able to meet some production time. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, I'm pretty excited about that news. That's a good thing. I mean, the sooner we can get, the Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision, the better. Really.
Yeah, right.
So
WandaVision.
How'd I know that you were going to be?
So I remember back during the Summer of Heroes in Disney California Adventure Park, this was pre-Captain Marvel and pre a lot of the things that are now happening in the multiverse. But a lot of people were confused between Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, and that was a big thing that we had to differentiate and tell people the difference between the two superheroes. Now, Chris and David, you two are resident Marvel experts on Marvel Tribe. So if you were to tell any viewers who might not know the difference between Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel, what is a brief description you would give to be able to differentiate?
David, go to town, brother.
Besides their names, okay,
and ethnicities.
So there's definitely a race. One's Pakistani, one is of the Caucasian persuasion. Their power levels are completely different. One and age. Age is a huge gap. I mean, Captain Marvel has a generation over Miss Marvel and stuff. Miss Marvel's more likened to Peter Parker at this current time. She's a teenage. Young woman. Beyond that, I mean, my difficulty is like explaining the difference between Hulk and Ant-Man. The name itself, I mean, I know they share Marvel, and a lot of that's not by just by coincidence. Marvel Comics love branding stuff them. They've been doing it forever. They love they have their own little inside baseball, so to speak, as to why they do these things. We have, like we had Saber. We also have Sabretooth. There's a whole bunch of Marvel comic book characters and heroes and villains that have similar names or crossover names or an addition into an additional name and stuff. That's just the way Marvel played ball. I'll leave the other piece of this to my counterpart, Chris. You can pick up where I missed out. So.
Well, we've actually discussed the whole Captain Marvel thing in one of our earlier episodes of the Dcast. David and I did, and basically it's both because there is a Captain Marvel in DC as well, and it was kind of a petty Marvel thing that they tried to keep the name, if you will, and for trademark reasons. But Carol Danvers, she's a former Air Force pilot. She's very maneuverable in the sky. She's more of a energy manipulator. So she has short blonde hair. She's an energy manipulator. She's like he said, older. She has a Kree story background, and so it's there is a huge difference between Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel. The Captain Marvel was from another character called Captain Marvel, and she took it as an ode to him. She adopted that name, but she's also been Warbird, Ace. But that's, and then there was another Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau. So that's it. So that's another, it's a very popular name, and it has nothing to do with the Marvel company, and more the Marvel was the name of the Kree soldier. Yeah. So, but suffice it to say that Miss Marvel is kind of, she's done a great job of identifying herself. Even with the Captain Marvel movie, I would say that Miss Marvel in the comic book world is probably a little bit more popular than Captain Marvel, who had a really good period as well. But I mean, she's a hit with the younger female crowd because it's a young female, like up to date, living the life, and the writers have done a really good job of bringing on very younger female writers for this book who write like young females, and that's very important when you're trying to attach yourself to a young audience. You can't have a youthful superhero and be like, yo, that's totally rad, because I still use it because it's rad, but but they've done a good job of capturing the current language of society today and how they communicate. And if you read her Avengers book, the one that Captain Marvel is a part of, it's really young. I mean, they've got a young Spider-Man, and they've got a lot. There's a lot of good stuff happening. Falcon was a part of it for a while when he was Captain America, and he tutored them a lot and taught them a lot in the ways. So yeah, there's books out there now that if you're younger, I mean, when you were a kid, when I was a kid, you were picking up some pretty heavy stuff when you picked up before the comic book code was put in. And so now they've got comics that are, exactly for the youth. It's a great way to hook people. So it's brilliant marketing. I'm excited.
Thank you both.
Yeah. Yep. We should do we'll do. You know what? We're gonna do a Captain Marvel Tribe show. We're gonna talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. We'll go through all three of the Captain Marvels and.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. There's a lot that I still don't know about Marvel, and so Marvel Tribe helps me out a lot with filling in those gaps.
Yeah. So yeah. What? Go ahead. Oh, did someone clear their throat? My bad. I was I'm like that rock eyebrow. Ooh. So now, unfortunately, for some bad news.
Yeah, so I talked about it a couple times on the show that
last week.
I know, right? Yeah, that my daughter and I have this plan to do Star Wars Celebration this year, and we've been waiting and watching fervently for any kind of news on what was going to happen with that and COVID. And Monday, they finally dropped the announcement that they're rescheduling for 2022. So August 18th through 21st of August 2022. So 2+ years away now.
Ugh.
I'm so sorry, Amber.
Such a bummer.
So are they using the word reschedule? I mean, I think there's a time frame you can say reschedule versus cancel. You can't say reschedule if you got a 2-year gap.
For Star Wars, After Dark, they were going to do a Star Wars After Dark at the park on one of the nights of celebration. So a lot of people bought Disney tickets and tickets to the Disney After Dark stuff. And on that announcement, they said postpone to a later date. So that might still occur, just not in line with celebration. But with both of those events, our tickets are supposed to just automatically roll over unless we submit for an official refund. So that's nice, since, getting tickets, especially for certain kind of passes, go very quickly. So we're locked in on our tickets. They'll just roll over, which is nice.
That's probably why they can use reschedule. Because if they did cancel, I think they have to issue refunds.
Yeah. On the post that the Star Wars Celebration issued 2 days ago, they did use the word cancel.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're only issuing refunds if requested. So you have to officially call or email to get your tickets refunded. Otherwise, they automatically roll over. Or if you opt for credit, so they'll refund you in the form of merchandise credit, and you get like an extra 10% toward merchandise purchases. So
nice.
I mean, at least they finally said something, because I was starting to get a little irritated.
Yeah, I am so sorry, because I know how much you've been wanting to do this. And I know there were several people who said no to D23 this year in favor of the Star Wars Celebration. And that's not going to happen now. But I am glad that Star Wars Celebration is taking into consideration COVID-19 and all of these precautions. So better safe than sorry.
I don't really see how they would have been able to have it. So, we were pretty convinced it was going to be canceled. It was just a matter of what they were going to do. If they were going to try one of those online formats that some of the cons are doing.
Ooh, don't do that.
But yeah, it doesn't really make sense for this particular type of convention. So
yeah,
I agree with their choice. And postponing it 2 years bumps it out enough where we shouldn't have to worry about any problems, and it will likely line up with a movie release.
Oh,
cool.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Do you think they put it out for 2 years because of the fact that D23 will probably still happen next year, and they didn't want to have them both the same in the summertime?
Yeah, that's financially, that's probably
yeah.
So on a good note, we go from a bad note to a good note. So George Floyd, his daughter Gianna, who is 6 years old. So Barbara Streisand, the actress.
This is so cool.
I think she's one of the few who's won a Tony, an Academy, and a Grammy. I think there aren't many out there, but she's managed to do that, which, wow, seriously. So she went ahead and bought stock. She's now a shareholder with the Walt Disney Company, according to the Business Insider, which has nothing to do with the Disney Insider. But she purchased from shares of the company, and gave them to her, which is awesome, because one assumes that once the world turns back to normal, those shares are going to go up. But it's a nice little legacy for her to do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not something that she had to do, but it's definitely something that it's nice to see someone doing it. And Streisand still has a lot of pull, so that's a good thing. It can't bring her dad back, but it can maybe set her up for something nice when she gets a little bit older. Have a little stock in a company that cares. So
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, who really wants to be a Disney princess? I mean, you can be a titan of industry and own Disney. So
right.
I think it's a good play.
It's true.
I take nothing away from the Disney princesses. They're amazing, but you offer me up shares of Disney. I want shares of Disney.
Right. I'll take them. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you could do both. Hello. Who says the modern princess can't have both?
Boom.
Boom.
Knowledge.
True.
Very true.
I don't know how you're supposed to talk in your mic when you just dropped it on us. So, but no, that's really good. And Amber, do you want to discuss that? Your little
Yeah, I was going to be on our recording tonight, which we had technical difficulties. But the Diz Insider, hopefully everybody keeps track of the latest Disney news with the Diz Insider. But they reported that Dave Filoni has now been put in charge of a new kind of connected series of series. I don't know how to say that.
a series of series.
A series of series, including The Mandalorian and the potential live-action Ahsoka Tano series. The one that we talked about previously, the Ezra Bridger and Thrawn series, and then the rumored Boba Fett series, and then one more that's currently kind of unnamed, but was the Leslie Headland series that's in development right now. So it seems like these are going to be kind of like maybe some of the Marvel Universe stuff where you start to see some crossover things happening, and they're trying to keep it all connected probably and in line with canon. So they put Filoni in charge, perhaps, the rumor is, to kind of keep that all centered and together. So that's kind of fascinating.
Heck yeah.
And if you've listened to him on the making of the Mandalorian stuff, I don't remember what they call it now. They call it something in particular, that show. But the docuseries on the Mandalorian, you can really tell that Filoni is kind of the keeper of the knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he has been passed the baton of the new current canon and kind of keeping that all in line with the original stuff. So,
and that's what we need right now is a consistent storyline.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. So it seems like him and Lucas kind of, during the Clone Wars time, obviously came together a lot and discussed a lot of things, and now he's kind of been passed that torch to carry on. So it's pretty exciting. That's a lot of Star Wars series on Disney Plus coming. So that's awesome.
There's going to be hours of in-depth watching.
Yeah, I'm going to have to train to just watch TV, which I think is something I've been training my entire life to do, is just sit down and watch TV.
In the moment. So Disney Plus, what are you guys watching on Disney Plus? Yes.
Chris, say hi to Randy.
Hi, Randy. That's my wife's cousin.
All right.
Disney Plus.
What are you watching on Disney Plus?
So many things. Firstly, I don't think that I've been on since Schoolhouse Rock was introduced to Disney Plus. Okay. So I definitely rewatched all of those Schoolhouse Rock I feel like cartoons is the wrong word for it. Shorts. And once again, I'm going to say the Counting by Fives video, which is one of my favorites. Why is this random grown man playing hide and seek with all of these children in like a farm or an open field? We never got the backstory to the apple orchard or the man playing hide and go seek with these children. Anyhow, so much about the Schoolhouse Rock lore I could go into. Secondly, my mom and I had been watching a movie called The Story of the Animated Drawing, which was a Walt Disney special. And that's been super cool. And it takes you through the history of zoetropes and tomatropes, which in the Disney Youth Education series, if you ever do Designing a Disney Story, which is the animated course in Disney California Adventure Park, you get to create tomatropes, the two-sided drawings, and turn them around and see that animation. So I thought that was so cool that they went back to that and all of that programming that I've known of. But a lot of the stuff that they talk about in how films worked, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize half of the hoops that they had to jump through to get all of this to modern film and modern animation as we know it. It was crazy. Yeah,
it's
and
nuts.
Then, right? And then lastly, of course, more Simpsons and so much Simpsons. And I think I said this to the group, but I don't know. Everyone is very into the idea of Simpsons predicting the future. And some of the episodes, for sure. Some of the episodes I'm like, and some of them are more grasping at straws, like the COVID episode people are referencing. They probably didn't watch the whole thing because it doesn't really relate that much to it. But I think it was season 15, episode 22 I was just on. There's an episode where they get rid of the police. They get rid of Springfield's police. There was a lot of rioting going on, and they get rid of the police, and the statue of Jebediah Springfield is toppled. And instead, the problem is, instead of the police, Homer is put in charge of Springfield. And that's where the trouble ensues. Yeah. So I always love watching The Simpsons and what they have to say. Comic book guys getting stuck in the teacup was my favorite moment of this week.
Worst moment ever.
And lastly, I'm very, very excited for all of Dinosaurs to come out onto Disney Plus. I already have all the episodes on Amazon Prime. So that it's good for me, but
dinosaurs, like not the baby dinosaurs, like not the baby,
not the mama.
Yeah, not the mama. Yeah, there it is.
So we do know that is performed in part by Kevin Clash, who became Elmo and got Elmo to his thing right now.
That makes sense now.
I believe this Sunday there's going to be a lot. I'm not sure if it was last Sunday or this Sunday. They had to reschedule. But the cast of Dinosaurs will be doing an online 30-year reunion in which they talk about the behind the scenes. So I'm excited about that. Excited to have more episodes on climate change and feminism and racism and all of those amazing ahead of their time topics that they were talking about on the show with practical effects. So yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. So you're watching a lot of Disney Plus.
Too much TV. I'm sorry. I should read a book.
Speaking of bringing cast together, this isn't on the rundown, but since Josh Gad is a considered a Disney legend at this point, have you seen what he's been doing on YouTube? Getting all of these casts from classic movies together. It's unbelievable.
I watched the Goonies ones. It was amazing.
He's got Goonies, Lord of the Rings. He did Splash. He's
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. It is crazy to watch him bring all those together. It's so freaking cool, and I like him. I like his personality. I think he's a really funny dude. I'm watching X-Men. I'm on a huge X-Men kick right now. I've been pouring over X-Men stuff. I'm super excited thinking about their inclusion in the MCU. The cartoon series from the 90s is excellent. I cannot recommend it enough. I've recommended it before. I seriously can't recommend it enough. It's so close to the comic book in some spots that it's uncanny. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been watching old episodes of that again. So that's what I've been watching on Disney Plus.
Cool.
Nice.
Anybody else
Dave,
watching Disney?
How about you?
Yeah. So, in light of, we're right now in the world where, there's a lot of tension out there and stuff, and it's much needed. So I wanted to kind of just watch something that just kind of addresses that, goes through that, but also has a really good ending and outcome. And so I threw on Remember the Titans.
Nope.
Classic.
I absolutely love Denzel Washington. The actors in that is amazing. You know, Right Side. You know, the strong side. Yeah, the character dynamics and stuff in it. It is really a great movie, especially in this time where we don't really know where things will just kind of end. And so I kind of put that on, and I felt a million times better about the outcomes of where we're going and where we can be as a society. So I'm loving it. It's a great Disney picture. It was written by Gregory Allen Howard, who did Ali as well as Harriet. So I haven't seen Harriet yet, but Ali, you know, I mean, God, Will Smith knocked that one out of the park. And stuff.
My goodness.
I put Will Smith as just a action actor. Like there's degrees. There's like really like levels of acting for me. Like, you know, there's action where you got the categories of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone. You don't really have to have that background. And then there's this drama stuff. And that was the movie that Will Smith won me over as a full-time fan. Like, that dude can act. So, but anyway, yeah, Remember the Titans. Great film on Disney. So get a chance to watch it, check it out.
We have a question from Miss Shade Robles.
Oh,
she wants to know what are we most looking forward to in season 2 of The Mandalorian?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
All I've been wanting since I was a child was a redemption moment for none other than Boba Fett.
Yes.
He was in there in the first season. Obviously, it's confirmed, but I knew when I heard the jingling of the Western bounty hunter of the Old West styles. I'm like, there's Boba Fett. You could not convince me any of that was done, and then now it's confirmed, and we're going to get to see. Oh man, I can't wait for season 2. I mean, Baby Yoda, he's cute. Whatever, but I'm Boba Fett.
Don't let him hear you in the background over here.
He's gonna be sitting there with his cup of soup.
Oh, he just force choked me.
Well,
okay.
Personally, more Gina Carano.
Yes.
I need more of her character. I need more of her on screen. I love the steps that she's made acting wise. I love that she's upset that she has to use a stunt double. That really makes me. I'm like, come on now, you got to preserve your body now. You're on the cusp of superstardom, and so I want more Gina Carano. That's me. So.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm agreeing with David. I can't wait for Boba Fett.
Yeah, no, it's the live action Ahsoka reveal moment will kill all other moments that season. Sorry. But she's going to come out.
I mean, I'm not going to downplay it.
She's going to drive Mike that. It's going to be awesome.
I get it.
Yeah.
First animated character to cross over. I mean, there's going to be so much amazingness come out of that. If that happens for real in season 2, we'll see, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
Could be a rumor.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think it's going to be awesome.
Amber, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're fine. Piggybacking off of what Amber said, definitely seeing Ahsoka, but more so seeing how they're going to arc what we've already known from the Clone Wars into the Mandalorian, keeping that consistent timeline, and how are they going to layer these Easter eggs into something that a broader audience is going to know about now in the canon. Right. So say Baby Yoda, I would obviously, but I would love to see what species is this? How is it affecting the Force, and how does it relate to in the Clone Wars, their initiative to get rid of Force-sensitive children and Force-sensitive babies? Does that connect at any point? So arching everything into one consistent storyline that just has so many different avenues to go down instead of separate storylines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
So good. And it sounds like with the Filoni thing, we're going to get that across all of them, which is so awesome.
So cool. Samantha Bowler just watched Pete's Dragon last night. So good.
Oh, did you watch the original or did you watch the remake?
Oh, that's a good question. Which one was it?
Mm.
And then Lauren DeWitt said that watched Toy Story 3. It was her mom's first time seeing it.
Oh, that
Nice.
lots of waterworks, I assume.
That's what it says. Lots of crying. Here, I'll
Yep,
put it up
took
here.
my daughters to see it. They made fun of me because of how hard I was crying at the end. So
Plus the Little Mermaid TV
Whatever.
show. Yay! Yep.
Mm.
The Little Mermaid TV show. Have you made it to the oh, it's Lauren. You've definitely seen the
Right.
episode with the mermaid who's deaf.
Oh.
oh,
Oh, that's cool.
I love the signing.
that's really cool. So yeah, the original. Samantha said she watched the original, of course.
Good. That's the only correct answer.
That's such a good movie. It's so good.
It
It is. I love getting to watch those older. Older is a relative term. Those older films with
careful.
my mom that she grew up with, and seeing how silly the topics were, and why my mom loved watching my generation's Disney Channel, because it was that sort of normal scenario. Something weird happens, and right, Lauren?
Yeah, agreed.
And I just love Elliot. This is so cute.
Super.
Speaking of
So-
Elliot,
So,
Yes.
all right.
speaking of
Oh.
Elliot,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sean, go ahead.
no, I just said, speaking of Elliot, today is the 48th birthday of the Main Street Electrical Parade. So happy birthday to the
Oh.
Electrical Parade.
Oh,
Oh,
very good. Good segue, Sean.
Just had to throw that out there. Get you some of
That's
that.
a good one.
Yeah, good-
some of that. You know, I was talking with the. Are you wearing your Main Street Electrical Parade T-shirt?
I am.
Of course he is.
Yes.
Oh.
It says make Main Street Electrical again.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
You know, I would argue I don't like Main Street Electrical Parade that much. I'm very thankful for.
I agree
where-
with you. Yeah, Paint the
put
Night
us,
is way
but-
better, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to see it go away forever.
Oh, it'll be back in 2 years. Don't worry. I'm sure for the
Oh, it
50th
definitely
anniversary.
One
Sorry, I
of
didn't
my
mean
friends
to
was
interrupt.
talking. No, you're fine. One of my friends was talking to me today about the Main Street Electrical Parade, and they were watching the Itchy and Scratchy Land episode of The Simpsons, and they said, "Is it bad that I like that parade a little more than the Main Street Electrical Parade?"
I'd watch an Itchy and Scratchy Parade for sure.
That-
All right, Blurred Hulk. What are we gonna say?
David, were you going to say something?
David.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
He's
Hi, David.
frozen.
Now we're just gonna
David.
stare at David.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's
yeah. I was
staring
gonna
at
actually
Oh.
take it back to Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Would you guys be really upset if they gave Baby Yoda a really stupid name? Like it's no longer Baby Yoda. It's not even Baby Yoda. It's the child. But
It's
they
Kevin.
named the child something like
Bob.
No,
George
no offense
or-
to any Kevins or Bobs out there.
Bob or Rory.
You know what? If we're going
I mean, how
Rory?
important
Did
is
you say Rory?
getting his name right?
Fatiti. I'm not calling
yeah,
him
if they
Fatiti.
give him a really lame name, and we don't even know the gender of the child either, so it
It
could
could be
be a,
Karen. It could be a-
Yeah.
oh
But doesn't he kind of look like he wants
Yes.
to speak to the manager? Let's be honest. There's very disappointed looks there sometimes.
Hey,
Oh,
you
that was
saw Baby Yoda with the coffee
And then-
sipping it while he's watching that. Yeah,
Very
that
disappointed.
look was like I already talked to the manager. So
You're both getting kicked out, just so you know.
Yeah. But how important is it to get the name right? Like, could that make you
I
mad
don't think
about-
they name him or her. I don't think they name it for a while,
Okay.
right? Because it takes so long to age in that species. It's going to be a child for a long time, and we might not even hear it speak
That's
for
true.
I'd be
Okay.
fine
a
with
long time. So how could you name it? I don't know. I don't think
It'd
they
be
will.
weird if at this point we started hearing it speak.
Talk? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But also I understand that change, especially in a series like Star Wars, can be very hard to deal with. So I don't want to
That's true.
say anything too soon.
Right.
I mean,
But I'm hoping it doesn't happen. And when we do get a name, it's a good one.
is that like with
It could-
a lot of franchises, you're always competing against the expectations of the fans.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem, is that in their head, and I know I'm one of them, we know what he or she's supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
We all assume he or she's going to sound like Yoda. That's
no.
But I mean, if they open the mouth and be like, "Hey man, I can play with your blaster," I'd be like, "What? What just happened? Is that the voice for that thing?" No.
I'm gonna tell you right now who in my head I see Baby Yoda sounding like. It's Baby Kermit from the Muppet Babies.
Oh, yeah.
What's kind of weird. Sorry.
But if that were to happen, I feel like people would draw too many lines to Kermit.
It'll be Kermit sipping tea next to next to Karen Yoda sipping her tea. So.
Oh no! So,
it's a thing now.
My mom and I are going through a protest, and my mom's been looking for something very appropriate to put on her sign, and she found one because of her generation. She is a boomer, and she's like, "What if I just put like Karens can speak to the manager about this or something?" And I was like, you know what? Good for your generation.
It's appropriate.
Karens, we can solve this. We have the ability to speak to the manager.
Karens of the world unite.
Yeah.
So
fix the problems of the world, Karens. Let's
That's
speak
pretty
to our
clever.
managers.
I like that.
So that's what I'm thinking of currently when I hear that.
Trying to pull back that Karen.
Unleash the Karen, like you're gonna.
Oh no! Now we've
Karen,
spoken it into existence.
Oh no!
Said it 3 times in the mirror, and like she's already asking to speak to my manager. So
you know what? Yaddle kind of comes off as Karen Yoda to me.
Yaddle.
Dye her hair blonde.
Man, we are going to get dragged by the Star Wars fans. Just so you guys know.
I'm so sorry, Star Wars.
Name her Yaren.
So if you have any issue with what we're talking about, please send all your mail to Brooke and Amber. They'll have to give you their contact information.
Amber ATIN cosplay.
Yes.
So speaking of, well, not angry emails, of course, but what's going on with everything that's happening. So this is something that we're going to be doing now with Dcast, and we'll have the Marvel Tribe coming out. Marvel Tribe will be a Wednesday release. We're not gonna have anything this week, obviously, because it's Wednesday. But Knights of the Rogue Republic, again, probably next Friday. But we're gonna be shooting for Friday release, and I believe it's gonna be the Clone Wars episode.
Yeah.
And then the extra.
If we can get Brooke's audio figured out.
Yes, well, it's working now, which is great.
Yeah, I know.
And so Extra Magic Hour will be Monday, and then there are 2 interviews that will be coming up.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow afternoon, myself and Brooke will be interviewing. Do you want to talk about the interview there, Brooke, a little bit?
Yeah, so we're going to be interviewing a wonderful young lady by the name of Sidani, and she is an up-and-coming Broadway star. Currently, you might have seen her on Instagram as Princess Tiana, cosplaying and singing songs for hope and for children who are ill in this time. So I cannot wait. This girl has quite the life, from being musically gifted to deciding her junior year of college that she wanted to change her major to, or she didn't graduate, but deciding that she wanted to be a musical theater person and just chasing after that dream. So I'm very excited to kind of pick her brain for her positivity.
She's a tour de force. Like, she is a literal fountain of positivity and inspiration, and it's a really intimidating interview. She's a really impressively talented person. I'm super excited to interview her. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, and we'll get that out as soon as possible. And then Sean and I are going to be interviewing Getaway Today. Sean, you want to talk a bit about Getaway Today?
Yeah, sure. Getaway Today is basically a site online that you can buy Disneyland tickets, book your vacation and stuff. And we were going to do it a couple months ago, but everything happened. And I talked to Jen from Getaway Today the other day, and she's definitely interested in it. So next Wednesday, Chris and I are going to talk to her about what they do, what they have to offer, what they think it's going to look like when the parks reopen back up here next month. And it should be fun. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Very cool. So there's that's going on, and then we're gonna do this every Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for this.
I love this.
Come on here every Wednesday. So if you guys want to comment with us, I loved responding to you guys, Lauren and Samantha, and of course my wife mocking my headband. But whatever. So if you like it, should have put a ring on it.
That's right.
Which
it's the only way you're going to hear all of us together anymore. So you guys, if you want that, you need to come on Facebook, on the Dcast Facebook page, or the Diz Insider Facebook group. We're talking about possibly doing a YouTube channel as well, where we can actually stream off the YouTube channel as well. So we're definitely we got big things coming. We got big plans. Gonna try to, get this thing going, make it.
I missed the D cave. I can see the wall behind you.
Yeah,
and I know you're sitting at the round table, and I'm like, I should be right there to your right.
I'm actually in Andy's seat right now, so I feel pretty.
The wall looks so good behind you, though.
It does.
I don't know if you guys know. You guys know who my grandson Cashton is. You can't see that on there, but he's been writing on the board.
Cashton was here.
He's been writing on the board while you guys were gone. He actually wrote on there. Cashton was here, and then hi guys from Cashton. So
hi Cashton. Love you, man.
He's
my daughter's picture up. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, put it up. Yeah,
that's cool. So
whenever we get back together again, Brick, did you want to talk about something that you heard that happened to you today, or did you not want to talk about that?
Brooke, do you have a story
about something? Some good news you got today that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you don't want to, I didn't know if you wanted to.
No, that's totally fine. I was like, what happened to me?
Because we're proud of you. That's pretty cool.
Something great happened and I missed it? How does Sean know?
You were sleeping.
Thank you. I was accepted to my transfer school. So I was accepted into the Department of Mechanical Engineering. And that means that I will be earning my degree on time, which was something I was a little nervous about. And hopefully getting into that world of creating and imagineering or being a part of the arts in some way.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited for that.
Like, seriously, I can't wait till I get the chance to ride something or be in something that you've had a hand in. I'm gonna be like, I know her. She's a friend from work.
She's a friend from work.
That means a lot. I almost didn't say anything except I was like, oh man, what does this mean for the Dcast? Because most likely I will be away from our central location and I won't be able to re-enter the studio when we all start filming again. So that's going to be something to keep my eye out for. But I'm so glad that you all have been really supportive. It means a lot. And it's not what I thought would happen. I was like, oh man, like.
Your girl Lauren says congrats.
Thank you, Lauren. That means a lot.
So that's the best way to end it on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus, Big Papa's got to go to work. So,
yes.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Those who have.
Can we do it? Are we going to be able to do it?
We're going to try.
Ooh, okay. I'm ready.
Oh, man.
Okay. It's 5-part harmony. I just need you to.
We tried this once. Again, it's
Temptation or a pentatonics. Anything just kind of. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. Tell your friends about it. You can also check out our shows. You can go to we have a Patreon that we're still working on refining and getting better. And iTunes, we could always use some reviews on iTunes. And you can reach us all through the Dcast webpage or the disinsider.com. Ready? And thank you for all of us here at, wait for it,
The
Dcast.
That's still. Dave is not even talking.
Done.
I think David froze. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.